my homosexuals? I feel amazing. Today was so great. Because if you follow my program at all, or if you know what I'm about, you know, this is the first day of the first heavy week I have tried out since my knee has been messed up. I did get to these weights before, but I didn't really get there confidently. You know, my knee was back and forth hurting. I was kind of ignoring it, always having issues until it eventually got too much because I was just pushing it too hard in the first month of recovery from this injury. And dude, now the question is, am I stronger than I was last time I tried it? Not really. It's kind of a yes and no. It's back and forth because although my Olympic lift has never been better in a way, like my form is really good. I'm getting very good at diving under the bar and trying to lock in on getting that highest vertical pull. Now, don't get me wrong. I did have a little mess-ups. Not even mess-ups. I had full lockouts every time, and I would land in the hole very well. But on the way up, the reason why my snatch is not as good maybe as it was before is because I haven't been squatting anything heavy. That's literally it. It's been a matter of my trunk, my low back and my core is just not as strong as it was before. That's as bare bones as it gets. I haven't been squatting, so my core just isn't as locked in. And you also got to remember, I haven't been benching much until recently either because my chest pulled twice. So I only really got back into heavyweight this past week on bench. So the lack of shoulder and core strength, it'll take you out. People sleep on the fact that if you don't even need to do them that heavy, you don't got to do them that often like I do. But if you just do a little bit of bench and back squat, your Olympic lifts can be so much more confident. And again, you don't need to bench press, but just some sort of strict shoulder movement that will increase that shoulder strength just for the sake of a better catch, or your wrist as well. When you hold a bench press, there's the most weight on your wrist comparatively. It honestly helps me a lot with my clean and jerk and just being able to get in the catching position on a snatch overall. And of course, it's whenever your core isn't as strong as you want it to be, but the weights can still move the same way like it did today because I got up to 210 for triples, which is great. But when your core is a little bit weaker, your butt's always going to try to come up first because it's that little bit of a lack of mind muscle connection, I guess you could say. Because it's just, you're trying to come up as quickly as your body will allow you, not as fast as you actually can. But I mentioned it before, it's matching the speed at which your body can handle in that moment. Because sometimes you might have to take a second to really hold that weight before coming up. And I prefer being able to catch it right away and stand up at my own rate without having to do much of a pause at the bottom of the hole. And with a weaker core, your butt's going to go up first sometimes. It sucks. But it honestly was not even that bad. It was just very slight today on a couple of the reps. Still locked out great. Only took like one step forward at the most, but that's not even that big of an issue, This is the heaviest stuff I've tried out in a while while recovering with my knee, and it felt great. It felt really phenomenal. Absolutely zero kickback on the snatches today. Overhead squat was very educational, like very, very good experience today for the sole purpose of I haven't done anything heavy with that in longer. Because you guys have seen, this is the first actual day where I'm doing the proper percentages because I'm trying out half squatting. And it's working its fucking number, I'll tell you that. I'll go more in depth about it in a minute. But it's truly working. It's getting that isolation that I need without fully, overly stretching my quad tendon. It's beyond what it's capable right now. So I surprised myself by 235 feeling pretty goddamn decent. I'm not going to lie to you. It felt really good for doing my heaviest overhead squat of this block of training without needing prior, conditioning, which is amazing. So honestly, I think the moment I get back into doing some heavier squats tomorrow, my core strength is really going to shoot up. It's going to be great. Other than that, snatch pulls, they feel good. Don't get me wrong. But doing 3 exercises in one day when you do predominantly Olympic lifting, and with just the way that I train everything, it is a very minimal gap that I have for excess energy to be used or lost. It's calculating your own fatigue levels as you train so that you're going to have the best program possible with what you want to do. And those snatch pulls are easy, but they are really hard to lock your core in when you do them last, when your whole body's completely burnt out. It's really tough. And honestly, that was the only exercise today that, no pain, just a slight bit more of a drive on my quad tendon than I expected. But again, this is the hardest day I'll have for a couple of days. It's my main snatch day, my main clean and jerk day are always the hardest. And it's inevitable that when you put in a lot of energy like that, you're going to feel some sort of strain, especially if you have a lingering injury. So, all in all, physically, I will give it a very, very nice 9.45. It felt so good. It's not perfect by any means, but we're getting confident. And that I would much rather see confidence in weight that you are, comfortable doing than a very shaky, scary, hesitant rep that is too heavy. That's why I mainly train percentages. It's just the safer, more longevity way of doing things with this sport, especially when it comes to preventing injury and managing your own fatigue. Mentally, I'll give it a 9.65, and it's not even really because of the gym. I have been realizing more recently that I am probably the happiest I've ever been. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been happy. I have been loving life. I've been doing my thing. You guys have seen it. I've had some up and downs. Things have gotten a little crazy every now and then, but I have really been making the most of life, especially recently. It's been really nice to not have to worry as much about what I'm doing or what's correct, what feels the best, that kind of stuff. There's not as much FOMO. I'm not putting all the negative what ifs in the air or constantly questioning myself. I'm just doing, loving, and enjoying the things that I've attached myself to. And the biggest thing with that is the people. You guys know I love my homies. You guys, anybody, just whoever I can shoot the shit with, I love you guys, And I've more recently been meeting more and more people, going out and putting myself in good environments to express myself and have fun, and at the same time increase my own personal growth through these other people's perspectives. Just the fact of having people around you will make you grow. Just having open discussions about anything. We had one of our new homies that have been coming over to the house has been just hanging out. We shot the shit for 5 hours last night as a group. And if you're going to ask me what we talked about, everything. When you find the right people, you will sit there and shoot the shit about just about goddamn anything. Any topic that came to mind, we just kept rolling and moving past the next topic, going to the next topic, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just because it was an environment where we could say whatever we wanted without worrying about what people may think, how people will judge. There's always a level of holding back when it comes to talking with people that you're either not as associated with or that you're just meeting for the first time, And it's not that people are afraid to let that stuff out. It's just finding out where that boundary is tough because nobody wants to be the first one to do it, I'm always down to do it. It still takes time. I've got my own standards and boundaries with how much I can express at once. And so, typically if you get to come to my house, we're going to open up. We talked a lot about our lives last night, and it's just great because you get to see how an individual can think through a life that you have no idea what they have gone through, but you can feel their experience through the passion in their words. That's what I love so much about talking to people. You can intake their own experience second-handedly, offhandedly, whatever, just through their uplifting emotions about it. Just the the confidence and personal attachment to those experiences that they got to grow through and fully realize and understand. It's not just something that they had happen, they don't know why, and they just ignored it, or they just didn't get it talked about. It's just knowing exactly where your brain is, where your mind is, where your personality is, and just rolling with it. It's so fun. But otherwise, dude, the half squatting has been a crazy experience. It's kind of insane how good my knee feels compared to the past 3 months of dealing with this bullshit. Because I have told you guys over and over how frustrating this shit has been. It is so trial and error. You just have to do one step at a time, try to do your absolute best. It's okay if you fail, but you got to at least give it 100% effort that you have in that very moment to see if it works or not. And I've done so many things. And like I said, getting to do 235 for 3x6 on overhead squat that confidently is insane. And don't get me wrong, I know the first thing that a lot of people will say is, oh, well, you're only going to 90 degrees, if not just barely below. That's easier. Why are you struggling? And I'm like, no, explain. Let me give you the lowdown on what this means for me. I'm an Olympic lifter at heart. My standard for squat, the position that I expect to be in, has become ass to grass every single time. I don't feel comfortable unless I hit my ankles with my fucking cheeks. Literally, it has become so normal because I've done it for so many years. Like years, I have committed to this and got confident and comfortable with this to where slowing myself down and limiting myself to a shorter range of motion has made the lift in its own other way harder. So it's a back and forth. On the one side, I don't have to strain my hips as much, and maybe my quads have a little bit easier of a time because I don't have to rely so much on the bounce or the explosion out of the hole. But what I will say is limiting what I am typically used to makes my core quiver. This has been one of the best and worst things I have come to realize is good for me, because goddamn, my knee feels good. I can maintain and grow in my squats without doing full range of motion, because since the Olympic lifts don't feel hard on my knee, I can maintain full range of motion there and have full mobility and just leave it out of my squats. And of course, I'm not going to be as strong as I could possibly be without doing ass to grass on everything. But it's a goddamn leap in progress. It's really cool to see that there's so much I could learn, even though I've been doing this shit for so long. And it's also interesting to know that sometimes doing less is more. This is something that you might hear a lot, but you truly can never think about it until you have to. I got backed against the wall doing so many different types of accessories and exercises, just seeing what worked. And one of the most bare bone, basic, original, from the origin, day one, whatever squat mobility I had when I started, that's what I'm going back to, just for the sake of letting that pressure off of my knee. And it's isolating the quad and driving my core that little bit harder, and god damn, it feels good. It's such a grateful experience, to know that there's something that works. And it might not always work. It might not work next week. It might not work tomorrow. I don't fucking know. That's life. But you gotta roll with the ambiguity. The mystery of life is what makes it fun. If I fuck up tomorrow and it doesn't feel good tomorrow I got 365 for sets of 6 on squat. So if it doesn't feel good, then back to the drawing board. But god damn it, that means I got just as much more shit to learn and experience and grow through, But it's truly been working. It feels good. I don't feel like shit in the morning or after my workouts anymore. It's obviously not as strong, but it's getting there. It has made exponential progress. I can bend down on my knee and tie my fucking shoe without having to do that little bit of, oh, you know, that little bit of hesitation where you're like, oh shit. But it's great nonetheless, you know. Don't think that just because you're doing something that is less when it comes to range of motion or mobility means that it has less of a purpose. That's the biggest part. I'm doing this with purpose, with the drive that it will make me better. Not just talking about expectation, but the faith, the raw belief that I will get better through this is what keeps it being exponentially better for myself. Because if you don't fucking believe in the shit that you're doing, then yeah, good luck. You're going to eat shit. You're probably going to get injured faster than anyone else in there. Because the first fucking step of making progress is committing, disciplining, and remaining passionate about the faith that you put into those fucking lifts that you chose to do. So that you can actually learn to love it. But that's just me. Let me know how your lifts and lives have been going, man. I love to shoot the shit with you guys. I appreciate whoever wanted to stick around and hear all the bullshit. But either way, you know I'll be back tomorrow. I got some pause clean and jerks, a little bit lighter. No, not pause, sorry. Power clean and jerks. That'll be actually a lot more fun. And then I'll do the heaviest back squats I've done since at least 2 months ago almost. So I am confident. I'm proud. And I am passionate, god damn it. So I'm at least going to give it 100% at the bare minimum. And if it doesn't work, who fucking gives a shit? Back to the drawing board. We'll figure it out next time. You know, that's all it is. So I'll be back. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.